Olivia Beavers from Politico. Good morning, Olivia.
Morning, Morgan. Good to see you again.
Okay, so originally when I thought about having you on this morning, I was like, okay, Olivia's going to explain it all to me. But I will tell you, I had Kat Kamick from Florida and Andy
Mhm.
Ogleson from Tennessee. Andy, I think, is House Freedom Caucus. Anyway, I will tell you, they both were pretty high on Mike Johnson, which is not what I expected coming into the segment with you. So tell me what you think. Can he actually get to 217 today?
Well, I think we're the closest that I've seen out of the 22 days that they have not had a speaker. Now, let me walk you through sort of what I saw unfolding yesterday to sort of give you an idea. You had Thomas
Please.
Massey, who is
Yeah.
a little bit of a lone wolf in terms of how he operates. He sometimes swings with the Freedom Caucus, but he worked well with McCarthy. And he went in
Mm-hmm.
before the Mike Johnson vote and he goes, this guy has 31 votes against him on both ends of the party spectrum. And then Massey is only one of three Republicans who voted against him, or actually, well, voted present, and no Republicans voted against him in that room. Now, the
Hmm.
big question mark is the 22 Republicans who are not there. And so it's a question of whether those
Uh,
Republicans were having any kind of protest in terms of not showing up, or whether they were just tired because it was hour 13 of them basically being in that room and trying to sort it out, and some people left.
hmm.
But one of them, one Republican, has told me that they might be opposing him if he or she does not receive certain commitments from Mike Johnson. I'm not able to get into exactly what those commitments
Yeah.
are, but they want to talk to Johnson before they give their vote.
One question, Olivia, has the rule changed, and you're going to know this better than me, but has the rule changed that essentially allows one person to bring up the motion to vacate the speaker the way Matt Gaetz did to McCarthy? Has that changed?
That has not changed. Now, I would say Mike Johnson, I think, seems to be in a different position than Kevin McCarthy. Johnson's had pretty close ties to the Freedom Caucus. And I think where we were wondering if there would be more concern is whether it'd be more sort of with centrists and moderates who haven't particularly liked some of the votes that he's taken, or that he was sort of seen as a key figure in arguing against certifying Donald Trump's election because he's a constitutional lawyer. So we were thinking that those were some of the things that were going to be held against him, but I haven't really heard it from at least reaching out to some of these groups. They brought reporters into the room when Mike
Interesting.
Johnson had done a roll call and no one had voted against him. And I
Hmm.
was looking at moderates, I was looking at Freedom Caucus people, and they were all cheering and looking very excited about him. And I kept asking, do you think that he can get there? And you had someone like Chip Roy saying, I would be very surprised if we can't. And then you have more centrist
Interesting.
Republicans like Mark Molinaro also thinking, yes, this is our path forward. So
Now
that was
tell
at
us one
least
more
sort
time
of reaction.
what what did Johnson argue as it related to the you were saying that he argued for or against the certification of the 2020 election?
So he argued. He basically, I think, one of the things that was being brought up to me as what might hold him back is
Mm-hmm.
I guess, talked to some of the freshman Republicans before the vote and basically argued that he thought there was a constitutional reason why they do not need to
Vote to
basically
certify.
certify.
Okay.
Yeah, vote to
Okay. Got
certify.
it. All right.
Um,
Okay. That
my
that makes sense. So one of the things that I noticed in the vote yesterday, and there's been several votes, so you can clarify it for me and our audience. But I noticed that there was, I think, 43, 44 votes for Kevin McCarthy. Is there a chance
Yes.
that Kevin could come back?
There's sort of been this Kevin McCarthy shadow over every past speaker nominee. And there was a member named Trent Kelly who basically went to the mics yesterday and he goes,
Mm-hmm.
Kevin McCarthy casts a big shadow, whether or not he's intending to do so, but he neither needs to get in or out of the race because he's making it very difficult for us to move on. And
Interesting.
so there were rumors about a unity ticket with Kevin McCarthy on top and Jim Jordan being an assistant speaker, but that didn't really have legs. It was sort of a push from the McCarthy world who really wanted
Right.
that to
Right.
happen. But I think that really what that vote was, you saw some moderates who were kind of they were just tired of it.
Just fed
They
up
were
with the
sick
process.
of
One of the
yeah, and they
things
were
that one
trying
of the
to sort of
criticisms I
say
heard
mhm.
I'm sorry, go ahead. One of the
Oh,
criticisms I
they were
heard though of Mike Johnson is I think he raised like 76 grand last quarter, and so that's one of the things I heard from some people that were doubtful is like, can this guy even raise money, which we know is important.
yes, it's really important. I think one of the things that we look at, Kevin McCarthy was a prolific fundraiser, and I was trying to
Yes.
ask him about this. Is there some sort of cushion of just being speaker itself, though, that brings in this money? If you are the top Republican, will you be able to just naturally fall in more money than your other
That's a
colleagues?
good point.
So,
That's a good point.
so we're gonna
Olivia, we've
we're
got
gonna
to we've got to run. Thank you so much for being on with me 2 weeks in a row. I really appreciate it. If you're not following her, she's a reporter from Politico. Follow her. You'll understand what's going on in this crazy speaker's race in the House.